Hey, what's up YouTube? It's your boy King James here. Alright, let's talk about ARs. So recently the Krig 6 was nerfed, and for good reason. It was just like the most highly used gun in all of the game. It's just everybody used it. Now they've nerfed it and the usage on it is down near a way more normal level compared to some of the other ARs. But one that's rising in the ranks right now is becoming a new star is the Cold War AK47. And for good reason. It's actually really good. If you tried it in the past, the thing was terrible. I mean, it was brutal. You just couldn't use this long range AR. Now, however, it actually works really nice. It's got easy to manage recoil, it hits really hard, and it's pretty user friendly, I'm not gonna lie. And I got that all for you right now. Alright, so let's start with a little comparison of the AK-47 versus some other very popular guns that are still being used today. So the GRA 556, a lot of guys use that, and the Krig, which is still very viable in the game now and still being used by quite a few guys. And look at the AK-47. So it really looks like, it out hits all of them, which it does. It's, about 600 milliseconds right at point blank versus 736. And that sort of seems like a lot, and it is definitely a bit, but when you go and change the axis to 0, you can see how much tighter the guns actually are. 136 milliseconds is actually really fast. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Did you get that? Did you hear the sound between those two clicks? That's 130 milliseconds. Let me play it again. All right, so that's literally the difference between the two. Like, it's so tight that, you almost can't make any difference. So sure, it's better on paper, but they're all really competitive. And the AK is very competitive along with them. But its recoil used to be brutal. So let me play for you my review on what I thought about the AK-47 from around March of this year when it had the really brutal recoil before they fixed it. The AK-47, on the other hand, well, I saw this guy here and I took a couple of shots and noticed the recoil, so I was just trying to burst it, but it really didn't work all that well as a long-range gun, so I pretty well gave up. This guy here was moving. I didn't have much of an opportunity to shoot him, but, even when there was jumping off here, it just, had a bit of a hard time initially. Once it's firing, it's a little bit more stable and easy to shoot, but on those long-range shots, it was a lot of what you're seeing here, just me shooting, getting a couple of tags, and not actually able to down anybody. So as you can tell from that video, I wasn't really happy with the gun using it for long range. It was pretty terrible. And here's the recoil on it, and this is why. So this video's a little choppy, but stay with me. And look at it shooting up there. And you see this huge curl right there? It was really hard to use and very unpredictable. This is the XM4 beside it, so sort of ignore that. But have a look at the recoil pattern on it. This is what made the damn thing so hard to use. But look at it now, because here's the recoil pattern on it now. And look at how much smoother it is. It does go up and move around a little, but it doesn't do that left to right like loop thing, which made it really brutal. And it doesn't actually even shoot off the building anymore. And if you watch, this is the Krig, so they've recently nerfed the Krig's recoil. Now it has definitely a smoother pattern horizontally, but it has a lot more recoil vertically. Not that that's hard to manage, but you can see the difference between the two, but you can tell the AK is definitely a lot better in terms of the way its recoil is. So I recently started using the Cold War AK-47 after the Krig Nerf, and I'm telling you, it really hits hard. It has some recoil, and it's a lower RPM firing gun, but I'm telling you, that doesn't matter. When you learn to control the recoil, which to be honest, is very easily controlled. They've made it so that, it takes a little bit more than say the Krig or the Farah, but you spend a little bit of time with it, and you'll get really comfortable, and you won't even, remember using guns that were easier to control than it. It'll feel just as easy as any of those other ones. I think it took me maybe one night, and by the end of the night playing with it, I was using it just like I was using the Krig or the Farah or any other really smooth shooting gun. And I just got used to being able to pull down and manage that recoil, and it's crazy strong. So that's one thing that I like about it, is it doesn't take that many bullets to down a guy, which gives you a lot of damage per mag. So I don't find myself having to reload or running out of ammo before I'm able to get the down. Right, see, I just did this guy and thirsted him, still had ammo left. So you can certainly, get those shots in and get the thirst and, absolutely have a viable gun. And I think I actually like playing with this more now than I did the Krig before, if you can believe that. There's just something about the feel of this gun that works for me. And, it doesn't have unmanageable recoil, and even at close like that, paired with a shotgun, it's a really good setup, right? Blasted that guy, this guy came around the corner and just shoot away. So, you know, when you're challenging multiple guys, and this guy here, I'm just wall banging him behind the behind that air conditioner. Shot at that guy, finally found him, right? It's really strong and has a really good ability to find its target. I definitely find myself very confident when I'm using it, and I like using it. I feel as good using this today as I did the Krig in the Krig's heyday. So if you're looking for a new AR to switch to after the Krig, man, I think the Cold War AK47 is definitely it. It really worked for me, and I'm still using it even despite finishing this video. I'm gonna keep using this one. So as I said, I've been running the AK with the Gallo, and man, this is an absolute shredder on Rebirth Island. And if I was in Verdansk, I'd probably use it with the AK and the Swiss, I think, for a bit of a longer range setup, because even though, you know, this is a longer range gun, you use it with a Microflex LED instead, and you can make it a close range gun, and it works just as good as an SMG. So this here in Verdansk also worked really well for me. All right, so let me show you my build, but just before I do that, I want to say thank you to everybody who's recently subbed to the channel. I really appreciate all that love and support, so thank you guys. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, consider subscribing, because it really does help small content creators like myself. All right, let me show you my build. So I actually like the Cold War AK-47 so much, I bought a pack out of the store that gave me the Neurologist, and it's a laser and dismemberment effect on the gun so that I could use it. That's how much I enjoyed using this thing. Now, the build for this is pretty well your standard build that you're going to use on any AR. So the GRU suppressor for sound suppression and damage range, your Spetsnaz RPK barrel, that's for bullet velocity, horizontal and vertical recoil control, and effective damage range. On the optic, Axial Arms 3X, and I'm definitely using that reticle that came in this year's battle, or this battle pass. This one here, green dot, I really like it. For the magazine, running the Bakelite 60 round. And under barrel, the Spetsnaz grip for the horizontal and vertical recoil control. And like this, it's been amazing for a long range gun. Now, if you want to run it with a sniper, just go and trade out this for the Microflex LED like I did for my Verdansk loadout. And you can still shoot this amazingly far with this sight, but it works a little better up close than say the 3X does, especially when you're carrying a sniper and you're going to use it probably for your more long distance engagements. You could definitely use the sniper and this with the 3X on it and run in Verdansk with that, because I've killed lots of guys up close with the 3X scope. It's not that far, and you can definitely, you know, if you're on PC, you can try running affected to reduce that zoom even more if you want. So either one of these builds will work really good depending on where you're playing the game. Anyways, guys, stick around and watch this outro video. This is a video of me using the gun and getting a win with it and getting a whole ton of kills. I think I mowed 6 guys down coming out of tents, running out of the storm. It was, you know, pretty nasty. So stick around and check that out. If you have any comments or questions, hit me up in the comment section down below. I love to read your comments. I try and respond to all of them. So if you got something or another way that you're using this, or something that you're doing with the AK that's really cool, let me know in the comment section down below. Or if there's another thing you want me to review, let me know in the section, and I'll see if there's something I can do with it. If I use it, I'll give you a shout out in my next video for it. And as always, guys, if you don't see me in Warzone, if you don't see me in multiplayer, it's matter time, baby. King James out.
King James, you're going inbound. They're going right. They're going hard right. Or hard left, sorry.
Oh, got him.
Hard left, coming. There's one right here wrapping up behind us. It's over here somewhere.
They're moving more to the left.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Really?
Really, bro?
Someone's right next to the orange.
Friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Take it, King.
X-ray spotted.
He said it's 1v1.
Behind me. Fuck. Nice.
There it is, baby. Ban the AK rocks. It's good.
1v1.
1v1. It was not a 1v1 at all.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I got 2 of them. It's a 1v1 now. Me and King. King James is still rocking.
No.